Hi there, Ray Cumby here from Fit for Art Patterns. I'm so glad you joined me. We're going to look at a pattern adjustment that we can utilize on both the Clever Crossings variation of the Tabula Rasa knit tee and tunic, and also on the wide neckline variation for the Tabula Rasa knit tee and tunic. And what that is curing a droopy neckline. So we're going to look at the pattern work that you would need to do to fix a droopy surplus neckline. If you had a little extra when you bent over, everything was sort of falling out, you would want to make this adjustment to your pattern so that it would fit you better. And likewise on the wide necklines, when you have a boat neck or even a boat neck with collars, which is what I'm wearing right now, from the wide neckline variation for the Tabula Rasa tee and tunic, you would be able to do that alteration as well. Fit for Art pattern is our setup so that you have a core pattern and then you have variation patterns to change the styling of your core pattern. And so we're going to look at both the core pattern pieces, and then we're going to look at the variation pieces in this case, because this adjustment is geared towards the variation patterns, which might create these fitting problems for you. You can also use this on the regular pattern if you find that the neckline is droopy, but it is a much more contained either V-neck or U-neck, and so rarely you would need to use this adjustment. We have adjustments for other fitting issues for the Tabula Rasa knit tee and tunic on some other videos that you'll find related to this topic at the helpful hints section at fitforartpatterns.com, and check out knits. We have also similar ones for wovens, which will help you get your woven patterns shaped up so that they fit you better. So we're going to switch to another camera so we can see how this pattern adjustment is done. I have in front of me the Tabula Rasa knit tee pattern that has been adjusted with the boat neck template. So you can see that we're seeing the boat neck template here, and we are seeing the Tabula Rasa knit top underneath it. The neckline for the basic top comes up more like this and across this way, so it had to be cut out a little bit. But we have that underneath, and we have the pattern attached here so we can make the boat neck design. But sometimes when you move that neckline up, you do get a little bit of droopiness, and you want to be able to adjust that out. And this is the way that I think is the easiest way to do it. And that is to slash and spread and send it into a dart. If you are using the CD version of this, is the AB front, which has no dart. So we're going to demo it here and create a new little dart for you that will help keep that droopy neckline in control. And if you are using the CD front, which actually has the dart in it, you can do the change through that dart as we've drawn this and then created the dart. On that dart, there's the red lines. We're going to see where they came from in just a minute. Okay, so I have drawn a line, so when you know you have a droopy neckline, you've pinned a little bit out of the neckline as you are wearing your mock-up or your top, and you might see that you have a pinch of about 1/4 inch. That would not be unusual. You don't want to stretch it too much. You don't want that neckline too tight because you're going to put a little band on it anyway. So I chose a place here where I thought would be a likely spot where you would be pinning out. And by doing it on your pattern that's cut on the folds, you're basically making this change on both sides of the center front. If you make it in the center front, you adjust the pattern oddly and it's not as great. So it looks better if you adjust it this way. And then you pick a place approximately where you're going to put the dart and create essentially a bust point. I've done it along the grain line, and I laid my ruler there and drew that green line so that I would have the mark I needed to do the the pattern work. And then you have to draw a line into the side seam where you're going to put the dart. Once you have these two lines drawn, and you draw them with your straight ruler, you will cut in and leave a hinge. And the reason I have these two little yellow pins here is I've taught with this pattern piece so many times. The hinge has busted, but we're going to keep it together enough to do the alteration. So you cut along this line, and you cut along this line, leaving a hinge right there in the pattern. And then you're going to take the pattern and cross it over itself, the amount that you have found that you need to eliminate. And we had said that it was about 1/4 of an inch. And when you have a 1/4 inch elimination, you have to do that twice. So you're crossing over actually about 1/2 an inch. And I don't know if you can see that well in the picture, but I'm going to measure it, and it is in fact about 1/2 an inch. And then you would tape that closed, and I'm going to tape it here just so you can see what that looks like. And then you will watch, if you keep that grain line straight, that you will create in the process an opening here where that hinge has closed up the top and given you a tiny little space here to create a dart. And so you're going to fill that space with a little bit of paper, and I have some white pattern making paper here, and I'm going to slide that in to the pattern, and that is, tape that into place, and that's going to create the dart you need to accommodate the adjustment you've made. Now you might say, can I just make this adjustment and not have a dart? Well, you can. Actually, you can't do it this way. You would have to do it a different way. But more importantly, having that dart in there will then give the shape that the shirt needs to keep the neck flat and laying appropriately. And that's why you do this kind of adjustment, so that you have that established there in a way that works perfectly. Now, if you were going to use one of the collars in the wide neckline variation to, I'm going to just trim this off, so you would have your dart, and it would just be what's inside those white section. It would be a very small little dart, but it would give you the shaping that you need. The wide neckline variation comes with two different collars, and we're going to look at the angled collar here, and I've cut it out in the large just as if it was as we had used the large on the other. And here is what the pattern generally looked like, and I have made that same slash as you see in the pattern, and I'm going to close that up as well. So I'm going to take my pattern and I'm going to close it up that same 1/2 an inch that I closed up the underneath of the shirt, and put a little tape there so that I have adjusted that, and when I line this up, then it will line up along here just as it should. The collar actually extends a little bit beyond the shoulder line, and you see that. That's one of the fun dramatic parts about the angled collar. Now, we also, of course, will finish taping it down here, and then we have to do the other side because this pattern piece is not cut on the fold. It's just one big long collar, and so the other side has to be adjusted too. When we adjusted the basic tee, it's cut on the fold, so the pattern adjustment was made already on both sides. But here on the collar, we have to make the adjustment on both sides of the pattern, so that when the collar is made, it will fit onto the adjusted pattern piece. And so here you see the adjusted pattern piece, and then you see the other side, and we'll actually flip it over and make sure it fits too. And I'm pretty sure it will, and it does, and it also extends a little further out. So now you are ready to take your basic t-shirt and turn it into a very fun boat neck shirt, and also a boat neck shirt with collars like the ones that I am wearing today. There's another collar in the variations, and that is this asymmetrical, we call it the rounded collar. It too extends past the shoulder, and you would have to do the same thing to this. You would draw your line, and then you would overlap the pattern pieces, and then you would tape them together so that you have the right amount. And in this case, you will cut down and leave a little hinge there in the seam line, although that's the easiest way to do the adjustment. Let's clip that there, and then we'll fold it over the 1/2 inch, and hopefully you can see that. And then we'll tape that in place and do it also to the other side. So now you see how you adjust for a droopy boat neck or a higher neck, straighter neck on the garment, and you can use this really on any pattern that you're working on, but it works perfectly for, of course, the tabula rasa knit, tee, and tunic. Thanks for watching this video about shaping up the wide neckline variations for the tabula rasa knit, tee, and tunic. I hope you will try this adjustment if you find that you have a little too much excess in your wide necklines of your knit tops. You can use it on any pattern that you're working with, but of course we showed you how to use it on the tabula rasa knit, tee, and tunic, which is the core pattern with which the variations have been attached. The pattern, our original cover, our redesigned cover, which we hope you are enjoying. And then here is the variation pattern, a small format pattern, which gives you all these different wide neckline designs, which actually really increases the number of design possibilities you have for your knits. There are some other options available on that pattern. This is the boat neck also without the collars, which you are seeing here. And this is the draped front. It generally doesn't have to be adjusted because all the darting has gone into the drapiness, and it's designed to be very drapey. But we hope you'll try that variation. If you do not have the tools you need to do this pattern work, we have a drafting kit already put together. We can put in the mail to you with a roll of pattern adjustment paper and the rulers that you saw me use today, the Fit for Art styling ruler, and that great 18-inch ruler, and some of the marking tools that you also need. In the next video, I will show you how to shape up the surplice pattern, which you see here, taking some out here if you have a droopy front, in the surplice design of our Clever Crossings variation, also for the tabula rasa knits. So watch that if you have some droopiness in your surplice designs for Clever Crossings, and get sewing on all those pretty knits. They're perfect for fall to keep you comfortable and stylish as you move through your day in your fabulous DIY wardrobe.